It kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this is a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champion into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast. Good evening and welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, Anthony Scaccia.
It's great to be back for the 28th week as being a guest. I don't understand why I'm not promoted every week of being a guest.
It's a good question. We should have you on there. And special guest star.
Special guest star, Anthony Scaccia for the 28th week. I couldn't say it in a row. I can't say it in a row because I missed a week.
On tonight's episode, we will be bringing you the latest on the Storm saga. Talk about that, give you our worthless opinions, but opinions nonetheless.
Worthless.
We're going to talk a little bit about new commentary that we posted this afternoon about lane conditions. A little bit of local news here too, and then we will get to Bowler of the Week. Don't forget to comment to us during the show. Ask us some questions if you'd like. We will chat with you guys, and we will take those questions live on air.
I am a consulting expert of the show. Boom, new role.
It says, Ant. I thought it said anti-consulting expert. Because that would make sense. It would definitely make sense.
Pizza Wings is back. What up, Pizza Wings?
Pizza Wings. So, Ant, how was your week this week?
Okay. This week is the 7th. It was good week.
What the heck is wrong with you?
Forgot what happened this week. I didn't bowl Monday. I didn't bowl Tuesday. I didn't bowl Wednesday. Or I did bowl Monday. We did bowl Monday. Austin beat me by a few sticks.
Not surprised.
He shot 995. I think he shot 990. And then we had the John Drexel on Sunday, and which we had a good turnout for that. 52 people.
52 teams.
52 teams of doubles. It was good. It was a busy, yet relaxing week so far.
Oh, good. Relaxing, you say.
Pizza Wings
Yeah,
says
except for
he's,
today.
Just here to bash lefties.
Nice. I like it. That's lefty anti-love.
My lefty love is right over there.
Yeah, I did. I also bowled in the Drexel doubles.
Did we? Kyle, how's your week? Can't just jump into it.
I was just saying I also bowled in the Drexel double. Well, you didn't bowl because you were running the tournament. But I bowled. For anybody that doesn't know, John Drexel used to be the pro shop operator here. Anthony learned under John's tutelage, if you will.
Big word. I think that means he mentored me.
Yep, indeed.
Took me under his wing.
Yes.
Yeah, good guy.
Yep.
Johnny was a good guy.
Yes, he was. So yeah, there's
Basically,
a
yeah, we wouldn't be there without him.
Yeah.
With all layout knowledge and stuff.
Right. Yes, that's true. You would be absolutely worthless.
Which is 99% of the time.
Right. So yeah, the directional doubles was Sunday.
How'd you hit him?
Not great. I was in the pocket all day, but I both Nick Harris and I, we were partners, and neither of us could really just strike. I think we both picked the wrong equipment. Needed something, maybe a little earlier roll or something like that. But
We need to clarify pizza wings.
it just lefty or pizza wings, lefty love shirt is not a right-handed bowler. I've had this question only one other time. It is Anthony, but it's from the settee area from the back looking to the lefty bowler, not from the face. So it would be
pretty much watching him throw a ball.
Yeah, there you go, from behind. Yeah. So that's why it looks that way, because you're looking at the bowler from behind. So there you go.
That's right,
That's the lefty love shirt.
You should pick it up.
So what'd you have in the dry cleats?
I shot 580 or 590 for 3.
You bowled pretty well. You shot what, 660?
640, and I threw urethane the first game.
Yeah.
You did?
Up the ditch. Yes,
How'd that
sir.
work for you?
2-teen.
Nice. Yeah, I was using the Obsession Tour Gold, and it rolled early enough, but it just didn't continue enough, I think, to carry the corners, or if I had a little miss to the right, it didn't want to react well enough until they started breaking down and we could move in.
Did you try your Evo Solid?
I did not.
You looked.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I did.
knew.
Yeah, I did try the Evo Solid. I did. I'm sorry, and that was in the beginning. It was very lazy. We were on the burn.
Mine started to get lazy, so I went to the Prism Warp.
Yeah, I tried the Evo Solid and I tried the Phase 2. Both of them seemed pretty lazy getting down the lane.
Well, what I was seeing, I saw the same thing, but I think it was burning in the heads.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I didn't honestly move in far enough. I saw that and I went right to something shinier.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, which was my error there. I probably should have tried moving in a little bit with it.
I saw a lot of guys the third game of I bowled the early shift, and a lot of guys the third game were getting into something hybrid or polished, moving in. But not many people tried to play it straight with polished.
Right. So yeah, we Nick shot like 620. I shot 580 or 590, and we were not even close. The scores were pretty high on the upper end. Ryan Schaefer was here.
Yeah, we had Schaefer.
John Wilbur.
Johnny Wilbur, Mr. 900.
Mr. 900 himself.
Yeah, John usually comes down for almost all the events now. He has bowled well here in the past. So he usually comes down, and then our winners were Eric Copping and Wayne Stewart from Vermont.
Yeah.
Copping
mashed him, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Copping shot 800 for match play.
Yeah.
Like he just moved left and gnawed on it like chicken dinner. And I mean, he had a lot of lane, and then Wayne was kind of jammed it up right around 10. But they bowled Ryan Schaefer and Steve Wagner in the finals. It was a good finals match too. Yeah, 9 and 10 looked a little bit funny. They were definitely way tighter down lane than where both players came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a really good field. I mean, the finals was pretty stacked. You had Nick Messino, John Wilbur. Messino's got a few regional titles. Johnny's got a few NEBA titles. I don't know if he has regional titles, so excuse me if I don't know.
Jeez.
Sorry. We had Schaefer, obviously, and Wagner, who was a really strong team. We had Zach Gentile, who just won his first regional a few months back, and Zach Bogholt, who's a pretty good up-and-coming two-hander in the area. And then we who else did we have? RJ Martinez and Brandon Boyer. Yep, they bowled pretty well. RJ, I don't think he has regional titles. I don't know, but Brandon's got the most back-to-back 300s in USBC history. And
really?
Yeah, he's got a boatload of them. And then who else we have? We have Dave Handelwich, James Minkler, Jimmy Minkler, and Andy and Chris Smith.
Oh yeah,
TNC team.
Oh, they crushed them.
They crushed them. Yeah, Andy didn't bowl good the third game. I think he shot about 170, but Chris had quite a bit.
Yeah,
he had quite a bit. So it was definitely a really good finals field. 8 teams made it. We had 52 entries. And we raised about $1,500 for John's memorial scholarship.
Yeah, we have not we the Drexel family has a scholarship for 2 high school students, right?
Right. So it depends on how many scholarships they have. It's about $500 for each scholarship, if I understand correctly. So if you win, you get $500. And last year we raised probably about I think it was about $1,000, and this year we raised about $1,500. And thank you to Storm, they did send a bowling ball.
Yeah, speaking on that, if anyone would like to donate to that, get in contact with our Gmail.
Yeah, and it goes to a bowler. And don't remember the winners this year. I'm sorry, because I was running around doing a bunch of stuff.
A high school bowler.
2 high schools. They have a women's or a female and a male winners. So it was good. It was good, and I was running around. Scores were a little bit higher than I thought, though.
Yeah.
We were on Dead Man's Curve.
What is that again? 4?
It's about 3.5 to 1.
Yeah.
42 feet, 25 mils.
That was 43 feet.
Maybe it was 43 feet, 25 mils. It was right around
43
there.
feet. 43 feet it was, yes.
I don't remember. I just picked it so that way the lefties didn't get completely shut out, which we had 2 lefties make it out of 16 finalists. So that's not terrible. There's only a few lefties in the field.
Well,
so
come on. The righties need help.
Well, I gave him a nice little pattern there. I mean, you righties need help. I know you need a lot of help. Next year, we're going to have to put up some more volume.
Let's do it.
I think we put a 1-to-1 out.
No.
Make them work for it.
Trust me, they worked hard enough this weekend. I watched them loft the gutter. People were lofting the gutter.
Oh, that's choice.
Towards the end, yeah. Because it was, we don't re-oil. So,
never re-oiled.
Yeah,
Oiled
so
once, and you got to do what you got to do.
by the end of the finals, it is just,
pretty
brutal.
Taken out of the ball.
Maybe.
So it was good.
So I didn't even realize this was going on, but one of the local guys around here that that goes to national or Open Championships with us to
He's our
Vegas.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
He's still a friend of the show, even though he didn't come on, right? That's how that works.
I don't know.
You can still be a friend of the show without being on the show.
Yeah, because he's our friend.
You always give me the
Billy
wrong mic.
McGaffin. How old is Billy?
Billy's got to be 25.
25 years
24,
old.
25. He's Janelle's age.
So he's a two-hander that uses his thumb, which is very interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Gnaws on it like chicken.
Oh
dinner.
my God.
Throws about 20 miles an hour.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So one of our local news outlets just did a story on him. So I guess we'll just showcase that real quick. But yeah, he's got 17 300 games this year. 17. Which I think is just out of this world.
Yeah, I mean, 17's a lot. I don't know how many.
I freaking makes my last season look like
you had like 7 or 8 last year, right? We
11.
both had about 7 or 8. Oh, you had 11?
Year, yeah.
I don't know how many I have this year. I've probably got close to 10 honor scores.
You had more 800s last year than me, though.
Yeah, I had a.
All right, boys, stop patting yourselves on the back.
I mean,
okay,
Kyle,
we're not. I'm just saying that.
Kyle, you could have done it.
We both
I don't
had a
bowl
lot.
3 nights a week. I bowl 1 night a week.
Billy
bowls. I'm told 5 nights a week.
Which is 4
insane.
or 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
And he subs.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. He bowls twice on Wednesdays.
Wow.
In the morning and at night.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't do it.
But yeah, congrats to
I'm
Billy.
way too busy to do
17 300 games.
I think he's about to take the lead.
And
ever.
counting.
Right.
I think he's got a chance to beat everybody. Whoa, we have a pin jam on 6.
Okay. So but that brings me into behind that shelf there. That brings me to kind of my commentary this week, which was about banning house shots. And part of the reason was because of so many honor scores, which is not making
Are you sure that's the problem?
Well, that's one of the problems I'm saying.
Okay.
So like that's not bringing me a lot of fans in the YouTube verse.
Are they all hating on you right now?
Not everybody, but
Do you have your hate blockers on like I had that one time?
But this one's definitely not getting as many likes as some of our other videos. That's
love.
for sure.
Sarah, great game. $2.99 over the weekend.
Oh, nice job, Sarah. Nice job. But yeah, maybe we can talk about that and then see what you guys think.
Hit me, Jimmy.
I posted this commentary about how I think the USBC should ban house shots from league play.
I would like you to start with the pros.
The pros of banning the house shot.
Yeah, like what are the pros and cons? Like,
so the pros, in my opinion, would be 1, kind of reinstalling the integrity to the sport. I'll give you kind of the 3 reasons why,
integrity one day.
Integrity one day. And the reason the reason why I bring up integrity is because of all of the honor scores and high averages that we have, that I think are inflated and not really, I don't know if I want to use the word earned, quote unquote, but
they aren't as earned.
Yeah, like
nowadays,
they're just like, you didn't have to really execute to get those, right?
Nope.
So like, so the integrity part comes from, though, going 100 years without having any 900s except for Glenn Allison. We'll leave Glenn Allison out. 1982 probably should have been sanctioned, but especially by today's standards, using a plastic ball on wood lanes. But gifted scores. Thanks, Big Easy. But the where was I going? You got me distracted there, Big Easy. So for 100 years we haven't had any 900s, and then in 1997 for 25 years we've had 39 900s, which is just insane to me. So like, we go 100 years and then boom, we have 39, and nobody like blinks an eye or like wonders why, right? Like, I think a lot of people that are in tune know why. You know, the resin's there, the lane patterns are out there, but like, does nobody care? Like, if every golf course you went to, and I know I'm gonna get yelled at for saying golf, but if you went to every golf course and they had a funnel to the hole, like, whatever, would the USGA allow that? Like,
I would golf every day of the week. But my question to you on that would be, if you've never bowled a day in your life, not interested in bowling tournaments, you join a league, you're averaging 210 first year you bowl.
That would be insane to me.
But ideally, we say that.
Yeah.
If it was harder and they only average 160 the first year, are they coming back the next year?
Why wouldn't they? If they've never bowled a day in their life and they average 160, what's the difference?
Because not a lot of people view it the way you do. And this is generalizing our population, which probably isn't a good thing. But most people don't like struggle.
Sure.
And when you're spending money,
that's what I'm saying. Why is that a struggle?
Because, they're spending money and they're not performing at what they want to perform at, but they're not willing to put the time in to become a person that can perform at that level.
I feel like that's like 99% of golfers too, though, right? Like, but they go golfing.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right to an extent, but at the same time, like, golfing is a 2 to 3 hour outdoor hanging with a bunch of buddy thing, you know?
Yeah.
Bowling is 6 to 11 o'clock at night, depending on what shift you're bowling, and you're inside the whole time.
Yeah. It's a good point. I do like being outside, but I suck at golf.
But that's one of the biggest cons.
And I'm also mediocre at bowling.
That's one of the biggest, and probably, I don't have many cons of getting rid of a house shot, but that's the biggest one. Is because what we're trying to do is grow the sport and get more people into it. And if you ban the house shot, I think you'd lose just about as much as you'd gain from that aspect.
I'm reading the comments.
All right.
It seems kind of more 50-50. Maybe not 50-50. 60-40. I just
60 in favor, 60, 40 against, right?
60 against please. The idea of bowling on harder stuff.
Oh, okay.
60 bowling on easier.
It started out the other way. It started out with a lot of fans of it.
Yeah.
And
So
then the haters came in.
I understand that So I guess the banning the house shot, the pros would be that the players would have to actually learn how to.
Yeah, that's another point I make in the video.
So, I guess your bowlers would have to learn a little bit more about how to
execute.
I mean,
how to read
to a certain point. I mean, let's be honest with all the comments. You can literally. I know people don't want to drill like a million bowling balls, but you can literally have a good 3-ball bag and be able to get around the house
shots.
Right.
Yeah.
Forget about the house shot. We bowled on a 4-1 last night, which played extremely easy. And I'm not even talking about for great bowlers. I'm just saying it played very easy. Forget about the 6-1 that I suggest. A 6-1 is
that's what it
just
should be.
Shy of a house shot.
That's what bowling should be. It should be right around there because you can, as a lane person,
right? Not
saying that I am a lane person, but I'm saying as a lane person, you can make a 6 or a 5-1 play fairly easy, just depending on, what kind of loads you're using in the machine and how you're applying the oil, where you're applying the oil. So the people that think that, I get it. A lot of people want to come out and they want to score good. I get it. But maybe instead of banning the house shot, maybe you just let people sanction under that, but there's absolutely no awards. What about that?
That's an interesting take.
Because if you are rewarding people for bowling 300 on a house shot, like let's take Billy for example. He's got 17 300s. Okay. By no means am I saying right this year. By no means am I saying, oh wow, like that's super easy to do, because obviously not a lot of people have done it, and
Right.
he's gonna break a record.
Still
But what
gotta
I'm
be close.
right. What I'm saying is though, he probably would have had at least one or two, maybe even three on a challenge shot if he
Right.
bowled
On a
that many
tougher
days. Right.
pattern,
If he
yeah.
bowled that many days a week, he might actually have one. And I think if you just kind of take out the people who just bowl recreationally, for instance, because like I think we chatted a little bit earlier about this. I see pins coming in the bowling center that are like, oh, you had 3 strikes in a row, or oh, you were 50 pins over your average. Like we're wasting money, in my opinion, on pins that nobody uses. Like pins. I mean, as in pins, I mean like
Oh yeah, pins on for your shirt.
Pins
I
for your
literally
shirts
got
and
a
stuff.
300 pin the other day. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing with
Right,
this?
so we don't get-
I'm a grown adult.
we don't
Have
get
you
honored.
guys kept the recent awards? Because I just don't know.
I don't know what I do with my pins. No,
Pins.
yeah,
I haven't
just-
signed a piece of paper since last year.
Yeah,
maybe
I
2
don't
years
even
ago.
sign. That's a good point too. Is we don't even sign for our awards anymore.
I don't do anything.
There's no
The only one I
certification.
signed, the last one I did was at the states tournament one. But what I'm saying is, if you bowl on like more than a 6-1, let's
Your
just say.
paperwork's turned in on Thursday nights. Just
Oh, I
Thank
know
you.
that.
Thanks.
I'm saying,
just don't
Mr.
question.
but the league secretaries do it, but you don't have to
Yeah.
certify it anymore. You
Oh,
don't have to
yeah.
sign the paperwork anymore.
I believe you're supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Disregarding my
That's why-
last.
That's
worry
why
about
I
it.
said don't question.
Don't worry about it, because usually I just sign Donald Duck, and that's why I don't think your dad comes down to me anymore.
But
Um,
the only reason I care is because I want the stats on USBC.
I'm not.
That's
Yeah.
I'm a stats guy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we go back to the 6-1 conversation, if it's over that and your league bowlers just bowling like a mixed league or whatever because they're there to have a good time, some people don't care for score. They want to score well without trying hard. Then fine, no problem, because they don't need those little pins that you can stick on your backpack, because I don't see anybody keeping them. I don't
Right.
have. There's no walls, so we're wasting money, in my opinion, on that. I think if we went to more of a challenge pattern where it was a 6-1 or a 5-1 at the highest, and they do play a little easier, you can always make them play a little easier, and somebody shoots a 300 there, then maybe we go back to rings and maybe we go back to watches once a year, because
Right.
it's going to drop
They
down.
never will.
Well, I'm just
No,
saying, instead
in
of
this
banning the
scenario,
house
right.
shot,
Yeah, yeah,
instead of banning a house shot, and I don't know what people are saying because I'm not going to look.
Well, Mitch had a really good idea. I think through have different.
I don't think it's only 3%
style
average
leagues.
200. I couldn't believe that. I can't believe that. I'd have to actually look at that. I'd like to know what's the percentage of players in the USBC that average over 200?
I
But you got to remember
I don't know
too.
if that's an
is-
actual statistic.
yeah, we'll have to take a look at it, because I think it's more than that nowadays, because the game is so much different and such a high scoring pace. But he makes a good point.
I like Sarah's idea where maybe and I don't know how this would flesh out, and I don't know how it would even be possible, but almost like, and maybe this is what we talked about before, but almost like soccer leagues where
There's tiers or something.
right, so like okay,
beer league
so
soccer
you have
and-
your recreational patterns. This is an interesting thought, and I don't know how it would work or if it could ever work, but you have your recreational patterns for your averages of 150 to 180 or something, or anything under 180. You 180, we'll call it. And then as soon as you start to break that barrier on the recreational pattern, then you have to move up into the challenge pattern league or something.
I don't
I
necessarily.
don't know how that works.
I
with
don't
the mixed leagues
necessarily
and
think
stuff.
that would
I know.
work.
I know, that's why I'm saying
I
it.
think
don't
what it
think
would be
work,
is
but
you would have a 3-tiered system, hypothetically.
it's what we have now.
Right, but what it would be is it would be more advertised. So if you want to bowl in a mixed league, like it would be focused on 180 under, but you can still bowl in it over. But like that's a difficulty level maybe.
But the problem is
so what is second
we
shift
have
count as?
now. We have now. It's all no. What the designation is the designation is based on the actual pattern. So you're sanctioned as a standard league or house
Right,
shot league.
that's what I'm saying.
Right, and that's 99.9% of the leagues. If I
In
had to
today's
put a
day and
number on
age.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are challenge and sport.
they're
But the
few.
reason, right, the reason why there are so few of those is, in my opinion, is that because the standard designation still exists. So while that crutch exists for people to fall back on, they're never going to just voluntarily join the challenge league.
Right. No, of course.
Right. So
you're not forced to.
Right.
But it's just you're like advertising.
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying is like if you say, oh, let's have a challenge league, still no one's going to join it if they don't want to challenge themselves. Right.
If they don't have to, they're
this
not
is
going to
my
get
point. Is that this is why I think the lanes need to change because you can never take the bowling balls away. We've unlocked Pandora's box there, and they're never coming backward.
I disagree.
Well, I know Dick Allen says so, but
I completely agree.
I agree with him, but I don't. There's no way that you can bring the bowling balls back.
But Kyle, at the same time, your philosophy for why they wouldn't join a challenge league is the same philosophy as why they would leave a house league if the shot was harder. Like if they don't care about getting better at bowling on a challenge league, why would they even bowl a league if it was going to be on a challenge pattern?
Because they have no choice.
So they just wouldn't bowl.
But they would. My point is they wouldn't know the difference regardless. So like we bring the shot down over 4 or 5 years.
Well, I mean,
and incrementally they're going to either get better or they're going to stay the same or they might get a little worse. But
see the problem with incrementally doing it is you have to have every single bowling alley follow it every year. Yeah,
because it's the rules.
You think every bowling alley follows the rules?
If they want their leagues to be sanctioned, if their leagues want to be sanctioned,
you think the USBC is coming to check on these houses?
They're going to have to. That's the other thing. I'm just saying, because if you bring the shot down to the lower ratio, you're going to have fewer honor scores. So now maybe we can start certifying them correctly, where we would actually maybe inspect the lanes to make sure that they're following the rules, or just do periodic spot checks.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible, but you have to look at. I'm looking at revenue side of it for the proprietors, and if you were to lose a certain amount of bowlers because of the yearly increase in challenge, I guess you could say.
Yep.
You know, how is that going to affect the proprietors? Like, is by using a harder shot where you're not using as many mils, are you going to save that much money in oil? Is it going to be worth it? You know,
right?
Because
what's the benefit?
What's more worth
it?
Yeah, is it more worth it to support the proprietor and keep house shots, or make it tougher to get bowlers, but spend less money in the process?
Let me ask you a question. Oh, dang it, I kind of don't know how to word it. All right, let's say this way, because this is why I like to ban bowling balls and make it different. What happens when a bowler doesn't bowl well? What do they go do?
They go buy bowling balls.
So the guy or gal buys a bowling ball and thinks it's magically going to make them better, which it probably will for about 30 or 40 games. But by the time he or she is done with that, what happens?
They go buy another one.
That's the point. So, I mean, instead of banning house shots, maybe they're. I mean, in this case, if you're going to ban house shots, yes, the bowlers can actually learn how to bowl too, right? Making spares, how to adjust in the lane just a little bit more. And it's not even going to be that crazy. I think people are taking it as we're going to go right to sport. We wouldn't do that, right? It would be like I said, a challenge shot.
And I think a lot of the commenters don't really realize the small difference between a house shot and a challenge shot. It's not very drastically different.
Depending on which one you get right.
Well, yeah, if you go all the way down to 4, that can be tough.
It also depends how you throw the ball, too.
Yeah.
Of course, but let's just say it's a 25 milliliter. When we put 25 mils out now.
Right.
Most people are going to hook the ball.
So
most people are going to be able to find hooks somewhere.
So instead of banning house shots, that's why I like bowling balls. Because now I get it, you can go drill another bowling ball, and I love to drill. Do not get me wrong. I love when a new one comes out because it's Christmas. But if the player isn't learning how to adjust with the current bowling ball they have, then what good is it to ban the house shot? Because they're not going to get any better. It's not going to make a difference. So if you ban the house shot, they're going to have to learn how to bowl. I get it. But if you keep the house shot in and maneuver the balls around, which I think is easier because I don't think you can necessarily regulate the lane patterns. They can't do it.
Unless they determined a single shot that you had to use or a bank of shots that you had to use to match your lanes.
Okay, sure.
But
they're still not going to follow it.
All right, let's do it like Tesla, all right? put a chip in every walker.
That's what people say.
All
Yeah,
right.
but not everybody has walkers.
Right.
Well,
So now-
USBC better fork up some money.
You heard him, Chad.
Because then we can have identical oil patterns in every bowling alley
Okay, but
across America.
Now you're forgetting lane surface.
Right.
How old's lane surface?
That's up to the house.
So like that's the thing. Like you would have to have different set of patterns, but at the same time, I just don't feel like it'd be worth it to take the house pattern out in a way. I think they should do it. What I was saying, right? Obviously, is because was what I think it would be.
I think they
fair.
I think there
don't
should
get anything
be...
for rec, and you get awards for something challenge. Nothing for rec. If you just want to bowl, to have a good time, socialize, and maybe throw a few high scores, that's cool. But if you're gonna like, I have no problem with that because that's people what they want to do. But if you want to be like a men's league, for example, like I mean that could be a challenge. I think that would be okay. You know what I mean?
It's called a scratch league.
It wouldn't be scratch. And then the other thing too, I mean, because I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, which is terrible. I'm sorry if people can't follow me.
Yeah, can't follow you on a normal day-to-day basis.
But
Go
if
ahead.
you think about it, if you do lower the from the house shots, or if you take away the house shots, or you go to a challenge shot, in my opinion, the handicap evens out. It's easier to handicap people because
it actually makes it almost more fair. The
handicap, 100%.
Your handicap's going to be more accurate.
Yes, exactly.
Because there's a little less error.
Absolutely.
I'm going to hit the pocket more often than other people are. So no matter what on any given day, on a house shot, we're going to hit it the same amount of times.
Right.
A 210 or 215 guy just might not get that hit that I get because of my physical ability with a higher rev rate and higher ball speed.
Right.
So if you make it a challenge shot, they might drop 15, 20 pins, and I might maybe drop 10 or 5, but now it's more even than ever. So people, who complain about the handicap stuff, you can kind of squash that.
Right.
But I mean, then the bowling balls too. I mean, people just keep buying them when they don't bowl good. So then that eliminates them having to adjust at all. So then you have it's a two-way street.
Yeah,
it's a two-way street.
I mean, believe me, I have no problem.
A 5-way street.
I have no problem with them either.
Yeah,
bringing the hardness up to 78 and controlling the differential numbers even more than they already have, and that will drastically change.
I mean, I don't even know how drastic they really have to go.
I don't think they'd have to go up to 78. But
I'm just saying that's picking a number out of the air.
Why aren't they just at the round 75? Just make it 75.
I don't know, but what's 2 points going to give you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
my dad makes a point. I work 9 hours a day. I just want to hang out and shoot 630.
Yeah. Okay.
I get it.
What's the difference between 580 and 630?
Not much.
Well, I'm not asking the actual math question. I'm saying what's the difference between 580 and 630?
Well, the difference is
I went and shot 590 the other day. I had a great time.
Yeah, but 9 hours a day, work day, you come in to bowl on a shot that you just want to have fun on and you have to try.
Why is it not fun? This is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
This is a ridiculous mentality that people have ingrained into their minds on their own, that the proprietor makes up to say that they're going to lose money. The bowlers make up so that they keep the shot easy. It's not true. You can have fun if you're a 150 bowler. You can have fun if you're a 175 bowler, and you can have fun if you're a 200 bowler. They did it in the 50s, and they can do it today. They're just making it up so that they can shoot their high scores that they don't actually deserve. Sorry, I'm
going to play that sound clip when he throws a chair.
I think the bowling balls I don't think the house shot would have to be gone. Like I said, I think the bowling balls would have to be gone. I think that's easier to regulate.
The easiest way to do this would be to control the equipment, not the lanes.
Easierly. Not as hard to regulate, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really care either way. I think that everybody deserves to do whatever they want to bowl on. Like, I don't care, but at the same time, we don't get anything for 300 as scratch players.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. I don't mind.
It's just for me, it's a fun thing now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, nice. All right. Did it 12
times
in a row.
There's nothing like it's not. But then the other thing too is there's so many honor scores. Like, I'm bored. I hate to say it, but like I had like 15 honor scores this year.
Well, yeah, you're averaging almost 240 in both leagues, and you just throw the ball down the lane and strike.
I don't know if I'd throw. I still have to think, but
after
a while,
if you're averaging 240,
and like for me,
it's consistently making good shots.
But it's different for me though, because I'd rather bowl on something hard always.
Well, I think all three of us would agree with that.
But not everybody's like that.
But like I said in the video too, like, when is the last time? And I got one comment today that said that they bowl an 8-lane center and it's probably hard as hell. But when is the last time a bowling center actually stopped to watch a 300 game? And it's probably during juniors, I would guess. That's probably the only time that happens. But I'm talking about adult leagues. When is the last time a bowling center actually stopped to watch a 300? Maybe like an 80-year-old guy or something.
We definitely don't have the house come down and watch, but the pairs next to them stop.
Listen, no, I don't mean stop out of courtesy. I mean stop to watch the game.
Like when I was at Nationals, it was kind of weird because there was like
everyone.
It was quiet,
yeah,
and there was like 100 people. Like I didn't look because I knew, but there was a bunch of people behind. And then when I didn't strike and I looked behind me, there was like a crowd, a sea of people, and I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of weird."
Well,
like,
speaking of Nationals, did you guys see this video? You know Kevin McCune.
Yeah, great.
Up and comer PBA guy.
Great. Here we go.
So
I've already heard this rant.
Hang on. Before I get to this, what did she say?
Controversy.
Hang on. You're a competitive bowler. Different people find fun in different aspects of the game. To us, it's figuring out that where to play. For most of it's throwing strikes off less than perfect shot.
I think she had the best idea.
If I hit the pocket, I should strike.
Untrue.
I think she had the best idea, though. I think it would be a bronze, silver, gold level.
But bronze, like you said, don't get any awards. I think that's a good idea.
Of course, because you shouldn't get an incentive to shoot a 300 on a bronze level.
Now,
right? And nobody has to do it, but
it has to do with the lanes.
Okay, so
has USBC said anything? Would you just not hear me talking?
Yeah, I blanked. I blanked real quick. Go ahead.
Has USBC said anything else about coming and certifying lanes?
Yeah, they're going to start that up soon.
They're going to make the announcement, I think, at the convention.
Okay.
I don't necessarily agree with what they're doing. Because
you're bringing a camera out, right, Kyle?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense what they're doing.
Yeah. Well,
the bronze level, the bronze, silver, gold.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what do they call that with golf courses? Their slope rating. Thank you.
I get
I
it,
think
but
Kyle needs to start golfing.
I'm a unit on the golf course.
Just shooting hundreds. All right, so I was following the tweet box, and I see the USBC posted another 300 from the Open Championships, and it's Kevin McCune, up and coming PBA bowler. I think he's like officially a PBA bowler, right?
Yes, he's a rookie.
Yeah,
he's a rookie.
Rookie. Okay, so and best my knowledge is Eugene McCune's son, right? Bowls just like him, so I would assume he is.
It's a hard name to say.
Yeah. So they show you the 3 shots, and on the last shot, he turns his back on the strike. Like, listen, I get it. You're good. You threw it good, but you're at the national. You're on the national stage at this Open Championships tournament. You've got all of these guys like us who this is our big show. This is
our chance to make a name.
Well, not even that, but this is just this is what we practice for every year. This is what we go to watch.
Make a name.
And this kid throws his 12th shot for his 300 and turns his back on it. And basically, in my opinion, looks like he just takes a crap on everybody. Yep, doesn't even matter what I throw here. I'm getting a strike. I get it. When you're a pro and you can be that good, you can be that confident. That's great. But
there's a lot of people who wish they did that.
Right.
See, there's two different ways to look at it.
A couple hundred people in that building watching him throw that 300, and he just crapped on the lanes for them. It was
two different ways to think about that. He put the time and effort in to get that good.
I get it, but you turn your back. I mean, again, I'm bringing up if you did that back in my day, whatever. But if you did that, as your dad would say, my old man would have beat the crap out of me if I did something like that.
Yeah, but you got to remember, the 300 ain't what it used to be.
I understand. Well, that's what we're talking about. I know.
But I don't know. I feel
out there, though, dude,
you shoot 300, that's legit.
Out there,
I might pass out.
Dude, we would have been freaking out.
What I'm saying, how many 300s has there been in that event so far?
4 or 5.
Four or 5?
It's up to 4 or 5 now. Yeah.
10 years ago, how many were in that event?
It's the same. They don't get very many. Last year was one of their higher years.
No, I understand, but I'm saying 10 years ago, there's no way that number was that high.
Yeah, it's usually around that many. You got to remember, there's 30,000 bowlers, 25,000 bowlers, 20,000 bowlers out there, depending on the year. So
I don't know. I'd have to. Actually go back.
Usually
and look at stats, but
somewhere around 10 or a dozen 300s, a few 800s here or there.
I mean, what I'm saying is ratio wise. I'd have to look at it. I'll have to look at it and have it ready for next week.
So going back to our ban house shots.
Hang on. So yes, Dick, we did see that Mrs. Allen did shoot her first 300 this week. So congratulations, Miss Allen.
Friend of the show. Going back to what we talked about, the house shots and bowling balls. Dick Allen is on the tweet machine right now, I said, let's do
Storming.
it. He makes a very good point. What did people spend money on back in the day when there weren't this many bowling balls? Like when you had to go bowl.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Right.
It's a good question.
You were paying to practice. You were paying for lessons, and et cetera. You know, those two things were probably the most important when you had less bowling equipment. So now what do they spend that money on? Bowling balls. So back then, when they were getting better with their actual reading the lane, fundamentals, learning some different tricks, now it's just buy a different ball and get out there and throw it. And that's going to be my trick. So for me, you know, if you go back to that ban the bowling balls or make it so the bowling balls are harder or whatever, then you're going to have to spend a little bit more time practicing, because if they don't have the Super Soaker cover stock 9,000
with the flippity dippity core in it.
Yeah, well, not even the core. Sure, put the core in, but don't let them super soak the oil in as much, and that way they're not going to be able to transition the lane as much.
Right.
Which, so when you see big dips in scores, usually the lane transitions.
Yep.
So the scoring pace of today's game is different, because back then it was, you know, if you had 230 all night, you had about 230 all night, right? Because you didn't have to move much. Now you go 270, 170, 270 because the lanes transition. So if you don't have those big covers on it, you don't necessarily attack your environment as much. So you don't have to really move as much. Number one, which the USBC said that the weight holes would stop lane transition, but the Super Soaker 9000 is still on the bowling ball.
Yeah.
So So if you take
and
away
and the flare potential is still there. So,
but even if it flares, if they don't have that cover that adheres to the lane as much,
agreed.
You know, you don't have to. So then one, the proprietors can put out less oil, which will be less transition for the player, right? And then as you do that, you know, the player's gonna have to learn how to move a little bit. Can you turn that off? That's throwing me off. You gotta turn that off. Like,
sorry, there's a microphone going wildly crazy in here. Go ahead. Continue.
I don't. That was it. I lost it all after that.
Lost it all.
A good friend of the show gave me the information I was looking for, and you're not going to believe this info.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
52 300 games in 2011.
In what?
At the OCs.
At the OCs. 52.
Well, why did we say 2011?
Because that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, he
that's
said 10
that's
years
what
ago.
I was going
Yeah,
on.
but you got to remember they also put the pattern out. The pattern was displayed prior to bowling.
When did that change?
2017 or 16.
Okay. All right.
Either way, regardless.
But still, there was 20 last year,
Yeah.
52 in 2011.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, but you got to remember when
That
you
is
can,
a huge advantage, though, knowing the pattern.
Absolutely, it is, because you can drill some bowling balls. You know what you're looking
you
at,
can practice on it.
and you can practice on it.
Yeah.
Right. So I get it. But I'm just saying, if you take the bowling balls away with the Super Soaker 9000 core,
Hey, speaking of equipment, you guys check out our Etsy shop recently?
Well, you know, why don't you segue me a little better next time? So let's take we'll take not a break, but we'll put a pin in this and we'll move on to our next segment. But before that, guys, please like, subscribe, and click the bell to get alerts from the channel, and share with your friends if you don't mind. And also, Austin, you're absolutely right. You should check out our Etsy shop. Get some sweet shirts,
There's some
hats.
cool things on there, man.
Absolutely, there are.
I need some new merch.
Sweatshirts.
I don't know. Do I email the podcast about that one?
You need me to get you another one? So yeah, check that out, guys. So, all right. Speaking of equipment, why don't we talk about the Storm saga a little bit? We talked a whole lot about lanes and stuff that brought us to,
which also banned bowling balls. It got a whole whirlwind.
Would you happen to be talking about this?
Oh, weather the storm. I got to tell you, the Storm marketing department,
A1.
Wow, just unbelievable marketing department. Like they're
busy.
Yeah,
they're freaking busy.
They have figured out how to turn something that I'm not insinuating that this is their fault, or what I mean is that they did something intentional, or changed something on purpose or whatever. All I'm saying is, you're right. All I'm saying is they have been able to turn something that their equipment is, by testing, at least according to the USBC, illegal, and make it as though they are the being attacked and they are the good guys. It's unreal. What I mean to say is it's great marketing strategy. They've had a bunch of posts on Instagram and I assume Facebook and all that stuff. Still
All
approved
over the
and all
place,
this stuff.
yeah.
But it's like there's so many comments that are like, "What if I bolted at South Point?" And they're like, "Well, approved for league." Like, well, then it's not really approved. But anyway,
Didn't they sneak one in?
so my God.
Is that true?
So we haven't been able to confirm nor deny, but somebody did post. Did you find that?
I mean, Wolverines are pretty elusive. No,
But
I did not find that.
So somebody posted either on Twitter or on Facebook or something
I think
that
it was the USBC.
discussion forum
It was, yeah.
that
It was in one of those, but yeah. it
That
was
a,
the guy-
a Wolverine passed inspection and a bowler started using
What's
it
going down
at
the
the
lane?
Open Championships days after it was banned at the Open Championships, and didn't get noticed until another bowler was like, "Buddy, that's a Wolverine.
Like you can't use
That's
that.
illegal." And it passed the USBC inspection point.
So I did defend the USBC in the beginning of this whole escapade, but they just haven't followed up. Like
They probably
Or fallen
don't
up.
want to
Maybe
admit
they
it
did fall up.
happens.
I don't know. I'm just
They're probably just hoping it'll just shoot.
well, yeah. Now I mean,
Yeah.
No, I thought it was.
I messaged the states, and they said since the balls haven't been banned for nationals or banned through the USBC, people can use them, but you can't use.
Oh
them.
yeah, Mitch, thank you. That was you that got it. Got us the that tweet or whatever it was. Thank you, Mitch.
But yeah, you can't use them at nationals. You can use them at states, which doesn't make sense to me because they clearly state that when the ball is softer, it helps more on a challenge sport pattern, which is what we use at states, anyways. But I just don't get. All right, well, here's our information, but it's only banned halfway,
Right.
so it's excluded.
It's equally as illegal as the Spectre.
And the Purple Hammer, 15-16s,
Right.
equally as
16,
illegal.
17.
Allegedly.
Whatever.
No, they show the
Allegedly.
numbers.
They have the numbers.
I know they
USBC
have
showed the numbers.
but-
Well, no, the Wolverine wasn't that the one they just kind of said, yeah, okay.
Well, that's when
yeah, there was-
Storm and USBC
Came
came
to
to
an
the
ag-
agreement,
yeah.
Right.
and that they stopped testing the other two balls then.
Right. But I just don't understand how you can say that they're legal one way and
Illegal
not the other
another.
way. So I don't know. My
It's-
brain hurts.
I
this point.
I commented on one of Chad's Instagram posts.
The bowling Chad, not
Yes, the bowling
Yeah,
Chad.
you've been all over them.
And he did mention something about legality wise, they're not able to share or disclose stuff right now.
Of course.
So,
The-
because
That's
that's all I
just-
want. I want Storm's data, so
Right.
I can make my own decision on
they-
who's right or wrong.
right, and they said that they would show us
Yes.
their findings.
Yes, and I
So-
can't wait for them to show us their findings because they've had data that tells them that the bowling balls changed their
The softness.
softness in the finishing
Well, that's the
process.
thing I don't
So they
understand.
literally incriminated themselves and
Right.
said,
Well, I've never.
"Yeah, we've been making
understand that.
soft bowling balls the entire time, but you just haven't known."
Well, no, but I think if I read their statement correctly about that, what they're saying about their finishes is that when they test them, the way the USBs test them, they will test soft because of the finish, not because the ball's soft, but because of the finish on the ball.
Well, and here's understood. Here's a problem with the testing process, and
But doesn't that mean soft to soft?
so this is the problem with the testing
Okay,
process.
hold
I
on.
tried
So-
to wrap my head around.
So if
Yeah, I don't-
if again, it all stems to testing only two bowling balls. And if the bowling ball company is going to send the ball to USBC at 500, but send it to you at 1500
Polished
polished,
at 2000. Yeah.
right?
Why is that?
That's not what it should be tested at for certification.
Correct.
It should be tested at what the box finish is. And actually, I think it should be tested at any level of play. If I'm going to surface it to 500, it should be tested at 500. If I'm going to surface it to, I said this last week, it should be tested at any level of possible finish. And I know that's crazy, and I know it's a lot of testing, but listen, if you want to be exact about it, and if you're gonna pull a ball off the shelves, you have to be correct on the testing, and you can't just test 2 bowling balls. So
I get it, but I just don't
Like I
the
can
money spent from the USBC.
like I can
Their
under-
breakdown.
What?
Sorry to interrupt you.
You know,
Is there like a legitimate
they're-
breakdown?
they're-
Because they have to be.
they're a 501c3, so they have to have a. I haven't looked at it, but they have to have their
Like, I would-
financial breakdown. Yes,
I would like to know how much we're spending on.
testing for
Testing.
certification.
No, just everything.
Well, doesn't
Like,
the
I wanna
bowling ball
know-
company pay for the certification?
I don't know.
They have to pay the USBC
I'll
to
ask
get it
Bowling Chat
approved.
next
I'm
time I
pretty
comment
sure.
on one of his Instagram posts.
But I just want to know where we're spending the money. And you know what? I feel terrible because I feel like I'm bashing both sides.
Right.
But I'm not. I'm just
I'm
being
just
honest. We're
requesting
just being
information.
honest. We're being honest.
I
people.
want information.
Right.
Right. We want to know what's
As
going
the
on.
Think of
end
it this way.
consumer.
Everything's very
Right.
shaded.
Think of it this way. Exactly what Austin said. We're just people out in the world,
Spending money.
bowlers, buying bowling balls, having to wait 3 to 8 weeks to get them returned, while also spending $40 to ship it back to Storm. So we're these people being frustrated. So just think of it that way. We're the frustrated people on both sides. We're frustrated that we have to do this, send it back and pay a lot of money and wait 2 months potentially. And we're frustrated that there's not a real decision being made at
There's
the top.
no answers.
Right.
There's no legitimate answers.
Right.
It's all just like,
It's tennis. It's tennis. Not my fault. Hit it that way. Well, it's their fault, but it's not all the way their fault. So let's hit it back that way. And it's like it was the worst way to handle this situation.
I'm going to be
in
the
my
judge
opinion.
who said both shots were out of bounds.
And that's absolutely true. They were.
Yeah, I just at the end of the day, like a lot of it has to like this whole situation has brought so much diversity, not in the good way.
Right.
Because everyone, you have your Storm fanatics, which power to you guys. Support one company. I understand.
Sure.
And especially fight to the death. I get it. But like right now, the only proof out there is saying the balls are soft.
Right.
So how are you defending that?
Yep.
Like it's hard to defend that. And without the other side, you can't defend it.
We can't talk about it. You
Yeah,
can,
and Mitch, Mitch, I agree. I think there should
much as you want.
absolutely be a third party testing the bowling balls. I actually
Third
think
party would be the way to go.
I think that would be great.
Every other, I should say, big sport, there's usually a third party involved that makes decisions like that.
I wonder how many bowling balls come out a year.
I think someone in the USB said something about that in a post. I'd have to look back.
I'm just wondering because
millions and millions.
I mean, you got to think how many Brunswick
lot.
brand balls came out.
I don't see. That's what I'm
Between
gonna
all the
say.
brands.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to figure out
Like,
because
Probably 50 this year. Right?
so sure. Let's say there's about 80 to 90 bowling balls that are new every year.
from Brunswick,
No, just in general.
Just in general.
I think
That
it's
are
higher. I think
USBC
it's higher
approved.
than
Let's
that.
call it 100.
Let's say 100. Just to say
Yeah.
100 that are USBC approved.
So that's 200 tests.
That's
Right.
200
Or-
tests. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 200 tests. So how hard?
Which it should be more than that.
How hard can it be to get somebody in there who's a third party? I mean,
Well, let's
it can't
be
be that
honest.
hard to get
How-
somebody in there.
How long is it going to take to run 2 tests on one ball?
I have no idea.
45 seconds.
Yeah.
Punch it, flip it.
No, it's
punch
2
it.
balls 10 times each.
USBC says they
Okay,
test
so-
500.
500 a year.
500,000.
No, that's Storm. No,
Oh.
Stephen Quick.
Oh, they
Hey,
made
Stephen.
500,000.
He was here today. Yeah, in their press release say they test 500, but didn't
Okay.
whatever 500 a year.
It's not very many.
So
It's
that's
gotta be
so that's
500.
250 bowling balls.
balls. Yeah.
But I mean, how hard can it really be to get somebody in there testing them?
So 500 bowling
mean-
balls. That's 50,000 tests.
Well, no.
No, 5,000 tests. Only
5,000.
10
Yeah,
only 10
10,000.
punches.
5,000 tests.
Yep.
And they're telling me logistically wise they can't do that in the Masters.
But that's 41 bowling balls a month. I think that's altogether.
Yeah, and you got to remember how
That's
often
20 bowling balls a month
So what are
that
you
they're
telling me
approving. They're
there's
approving
one guy
20
there
balls a month
that's doing it?
roughly. There's
And-
probably 2.
But it's probably also not per month. It's
But I did it per month because
no, I understand what I mean.
20
is-
bowling balls
You
a month
probably
is a
have to
lot.
take-
It's not
well,
that
you
many.
probably have to take 8 months because they don't produce balls for certain months, right?
Yeah, they're
So
usually
8 to
they're
10
usually off a
months.
few.
So
But that's still 20 in a month is a lot. Like
That's less
that's out of
than one
12
ball.
months. So there's no way.
that's a little over 1 ball a day for your average work week.
Right.
You're
can do
telling
that.
me
Listen, I'm no scientist, like I said before, and I don't
I
know
know
all
math.
the paperwork.
how much are they
I
making
know
a year?
math
Magician.
English.
I'll go do that job right now for a couple thousand less than whoever's doing it. Right.
Whatever that number is, 2,000 less.
Telling me all I got to do is test 500 balls. That's 5,000 punches.
500 times 10. You add a 0.
There you go.
You got it. I don't know. I don't know how many are really made. How many are USBC approved though? Because maybe some are overseas releases too.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So maybe it is 500, and so it'd really be about 1,000. Whatever it may be. It's really not that absurd of a number, really. So maybe we should get a third party in to double check everything. Maybe let the USBC do their thing, but then let that third party see what the third party is, because third party is not going to care, right?
I
Third
I
party
completely
won't have
agree,
any
Brad.
favorites.
Guy, he says all I know is that this can't happen again. It makes everyone look bad. He's Storm Nation through it all, but I think he meant to say sad this did happen again. I'd certainly debate bailing, and that's the last thing I'd want to do.
I don't.
But say this did happen again. Sorry, he'd debate bailing.
I don't know if I don't think that's. Yeah, you would debate bailing, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's that going to do for you?
I still wouldn't bail. If you like Storm products, stay with them. You got to understand.
Well, listen, if
that,
you got a bag full of Storm bowling balls, that's a real big hassle. Look at T-Ray.
Yeah,
this guy
but
that bowls
you got to
here.
remember, if this whole thing, they're probably not going to produce a ball anywhere close to being illegal after this.
Right.
Nah, definitely not. They're going to ride the line.
No. You think so?
Dude, there's no way I'm going to make my stuff
They were
harder.
on probation and then got caught with more illegal balls.
I think they were all. My personal opinion is
They're all on
I don't
probation.
know. Yeah, I don't think that ball was any different than the other ones. I think that ball led to the rest. So I don't think that my personal belief, without knowing
Chad,
any knowledge, I don't think.
Internet idiot posted. He saw what I saw. 300 new ball releases a year. That's just what.
So that should be
passes.
600 balls tested a year.
Okay.
Well, that's balls released, not tested. He said. Released.
Well, I know that should
So
mean that
600 tested a year.
there should be 600 tested.
Ban
And
the bowling balls. Ban the bowling balls. I get it.
It's tough. That's tough. Yeah.
It is tough. So you kind of do it the right way. And my dad said that the ball industries do support bowling quite a bit, which I completely understand. I'm not saying get rid of all the bowling balls. I'm saying maybe control them in more of a manner. Instead of reactive resin, maybe we get like a motive where it's a koi polymer where it's not as crazy. But you can still use different weight blocks, of course, and you can still have the game that has been developed, but at a much milder case.
Right.
Right.
I
so
agree
now,
with you.
you know,
Perrin did have a good comment about this. We do understand there's more tests, but what we're getting at is there should be something in place to have a finite line for testing equipment consistently.
Well, the reason we're
if there's only one test to make this ball pass a cert, and that's it.
right.
If I was a ball company, I'd do the same thing. I'd ride the line, and if it's low, it's low. If they catch me, they catch me.
What I would say is that if we're just talking about hardness, but that's the only thing that's been failed, right? That we know about.
Well,
there's like
yes,
roundness.
Right.
That's
there's
the
roundness,
big.
There's the differential.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Now the differential was Motive's ball.
Right.
Storm and Ebonite were the softness, but these are the two most recent.
I couldn't tell you the last ball that would be at a round. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. But that's the reason we're talking about hardness, is because that is the issue with the equipment currently.
Right.
Steven agreed, but at the same time, if the USBC wants to make big moves, I could see some pay cuts.
I agree with that.
I mean, let's look at the Nationals. Wolverine gets in, possibly, allegedly. So now, are those USBC officials? Are they like South Point officials who get the USBC?
A lot of them are
shirt?
volunteers.
I believe they are volunteers.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's say they're volunteers. I mean, I get they're volunteers, but maybe pay them and educate them a little bit on, hey, guys, this is what you need to look for. Instead of, maybe they didn't even show them anything.
I'd rather have more hardness testing than that.
Sure, hardness test, that's fine. But also what I'm saying is when you go out there, the balls are illegal. And we're talking about the USBC. Why aren't they training these people to look for those illegal bowling balls? Was somebody not trained properly?
Right.
I mean, it's not even hard. You literally can put a list on a clipboard.
Right, with the pictures of the bowling balls.
Yeah, and say altered reality, this, that, and you looking at right. Oh yeah, you can't use that one, right? Like, it seems dumb that they enforce the rules for the first time in a while, and now they're saying, well, we forgot to tell that guy about the rule we made. Like,
damn it, Jimmy, you did it again.
You left the purple hammer in last week.
Oh, I did. I just saw this. Mitch Young was bringing up what Chad Murphy was thinking when Simo won this weekend. My question is, why was Rash penalized for his comments, but Simo got to say what he wanted after winning?
I think Simo's was vague, and Rash's was
not
more,
vague at all.
Well, it can't stop us.
They can't stop us.
What are you gonna do?
Who is they?
Yeah.
Who are these they people?
I mean,
yeah, but all Rash said was integrity one day.
And he swore.
Well,
he did say that, and I will say, Sean, if you're watching, which he's probably not, I did tweet him the other day because he used an alternate reality in league and shot 300, and I wrote on it, integrity one day, ... Am I right? You think that he would be the guy who wouldn't use those bowling balls?
I know, right?
Like the one guy that you'd be like,
listen, I have a phase 4 and I won't use it because in my head won't let me use it.
I wonder how many people are like that. How many people?
That?
It was illegal. You used it.
Yeah, but like,
no,
I
did
was
not.
bowling with you.
No.
Yeah, but he hasn't
what are you
used it
talking
since.
about?
Ever since
it was not
it.
illegal.
It wasn't illegal at that point.
No, well, the tournament it was unknown. Had not been announced when I was using
You're
it that
telling
day.
me you didn't have secret knowledge.
I have zero knowledge.
Yeah.
So then as soon as they announced it, my head, I cannot. I won't even. I'll play with it in practice or whatever. Yeah. I will not touch it in league. I will not touch it in a tournament that allows it. When we go to states, it will not be there.
Yeah, we have a bunch of guys who have sent them back because they don't feel as if they can throw them because they don't feel right throwing them. Which is interesting.
Yeah,
Bree, I did. We brought that up.
Bry guy.
Bry.
We call him Bree. He's cool. He seems like a cool guy.
SI. I know that. That's a Honda. Either. That we brought that up. What was it? 4 episodes ago. We were talking about what the USBC could do. We were talking about with the Spectra.
I like this guy already. I like this guy, Bry.
I suggested the same thing. All of the bowling ball manufacturers should be putting money into something to test every piece of equipment consistently. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, whether it's spot checking, whether it's testing 10 bowling balls out of the line instead of 2, like I said, Chad Murphy said in his statement that the reason they only test 2 is because it's expensive. And it's like, what is this? This outcome is way worse than being expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's way more expensive for Storm because you only tested 2.
Right? Like, I mean,
but what if they were legal? See, now Storm came out with a statement, they don't change anything, which fine, so be it. But what if something happened? Like maybe one of the machines malfunctioned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
didn't know.
Right, they didn't know, and everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember these companies have people that check those machines. There's all these variances they can check.
All Anthony's saying is like, what if? Like, we just don't know.
Inspected by 104.
Right.
Did he check the hardness?
Well, that was in the ball itself when it was placed in that box was inspected.
Doesn't smell like root beer.
But that's why this is why I want to see Storm's information, because if it is true that USBC's hardness test fails their covers because of a design flaw in the actual machine, then
or the finishes or whatever the reason is. Whatever,
but that doesn't make sense. If the finishing it makes the ball softer, then the ball is getting more friction.
Well, no, I'm not saying it would make the ball softer. There is things that can happen putting a resin on something that affects the way a hardness test is done. It would be the same as testing, a wood board. When you push into a wood board, your maximum hardness is going to be before you even get all the way down, because it's going to push back the whole way.
You're probably right.
But they're speaking over my head.
Well, I kind of get it, which is weird that I get it and you don't. But I can see that. But we have to see the data, like you said.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
Show us the data.
Well, they can't. Legal reasons.
I heard.
I don't believe it.
Hey, it's freaking 8 o'clock, guys.
Let's get to Bowler of the Week.
8 o'clock? I'm not done
guys, yet. If you would like to be Bowler of the Week, thanks for listening to our opinions, by the way, which are, like we said, worthless.
But you know what?
We like to spout them off.
Opinions in here
thanks
too,
for hanging out with us, guys, because you guys are fun to talk with. If you guys want to be Bowler of the Week, go ahead and submit in the show notes. You can click the link, submit your nomination for yourself or a friend, and we will pick from that form and pick our Bowler of the Week. This week, the Bowler of the Week is
Jim McQuaid.
Jim McQuaid, ladies and gentlemen. What did Jim do this week?
823, 825.
825 this week. He had the front 9 and then front 10, I think it was.
That his first 800?
Wow.
I don't know if it was his first 800, but he absolutely mashed him for 825. And it was with my old Zenith, so I must have given him some good juju.
And congratulations, Jim McQuaid, 825 this week. Remember, guys, if you would like to be Bowler of the Week or nominate somebody to be Bowler of the Week, click the link in the show notes for Bowler of the Week and then submit your nomination. All right. Is there anything else we got to get to before we go?
Yeah, I would like to just address Carl and Sarah's.
Hang on. No, I would like to address Carl and Sarah. I still have not seen a picture of the shirts. Where are your shirts? You don't have them on. I want to see a picture. Let's go. Okay, go ahead.
Wow, that was...
There are people who bowl outside the U.S., They aren't other countries' federation paying towards USBC. They follow the ball list. That's a good question.
Me and Sarah actually had a conversation about this on Facebook, and she was telling me that they had no answers for it.
Yeah, we as in the USBC. I'll say we because our money goes to the USBC, and we certify the bowling balls for basically the entire world, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I have no idea.
Well, every bowling ball that you ask Sarah and Carl, their bowling balls say USBC approved. And then the IBF, which is either the IBF or whatever their local, I forget what their local association
International
is.
Bowling Federation.
Yeah, but whatever their local association is,
The England.
I think it's a 10-pin something or other.
10-pin bowling, United Kingdom 10-pin bowling Federation.
they just copy and paste the approved list from the USBC.
Yep.
So
Interesting.
that's a heck of a point right there that they offer no dollars, or maybe they do, maybe they don't, but we need to know. Larry Jones, my thought on exclusion balls, since they aren't sold any longer, is it unfair to those who can't get one now?
Yes, it is, and that was my point to the state director.
Right.
No one listens to me.
I love this topic because it gets everyone talking.
And if you want one, let me know. I got a UFO alert in phase 4 in the shop.
And a Spectre. Or no, you drilled that up.
I drilled that.
Spectre's gone.
Spectre's gone.
But you're absolutely right. They are
it's not right.
It's an unfair advantage because they're not accessible to anybody else.
Right, and that was another one of my points, that a smaller amount of the field at states could possibly have it, because if only 20% of the field bought it, and now we can't go out and get it now. Well, in theory, we can't go out.
I'm sure there's some out on eBay or whatever. Now, like I said last week, the prices are going to go cha-cha-ching.
I didn't see this, but our friend of the show just gave me some more information. Last year, between all brands, there was 102 USA releases.
So
102.
Yeah, we were right with 100.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was USA releases.
That was just US releases.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's why Chad's saying they had 300 releases.
Okay.
Because he's probably counting the overseas.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, flip side Simon with an old ball. The good old Uproar. Was that the one you used?
that ball.
That ball was gross.
That was a great ball.
And here's
what was
the thing,
other one that was the step down from the Uproar?
You had a Bandit. Was it a Bandit?
I don't think it was a
The
Bandit.
Wet Bandit.
the thing about the TV show, because a lot of people said this, they all won with old bowling balls. It's like, yes, so what? They're the best in the world, number one. Number two, 3 out of the 5 guys, right? Or 4 out of the 5 were Storm. So like they're all using old bowling balls. They're the best in the world. Who cares?
Hey, did we
Just remember,
hardness
they're all
check those?
fresh. They're all fresh though, bowling balls. They're all fresh covers.
Right. They're not old.
They're older, but they're just
Right.
freshly drilled. Like Darren
Right.
Tang drilled the Hypercell.
And because they're old, they might be a little soft.
He had another odd ball that he was throwing. I forget what it was called.
Yeah, he had. I don't remember what it was.
An older ball.
It was
though.
old, but he had a Hypercell fused in there, and that ball was stupid good.
My dad still got his on the shelf at home.
Stupid good. I like that one.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Like I said, thanks for commenting with us. It's always fun to be able to chat with you guys and not just talk to this idiot. I'm pointing at me.
I thought you pointed at me.
No, this time I was pointing at me. But it is time for us to go bowling. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share the show with your friends. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you can't watch the show, you can always download it on your favorite podcast outlet. And while you're listening, please give us a 5-star review. Don't forget, like we said earlier, give us some love. Head to our merch shop on Etsy. All of these links are in the show notes. And if you'd like to make any suggestions for show topics, you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. Thank you, Austin, the producer. Excellent show tonight.
Yeah, great show.
Fist
Great
bump.
show.
And thank you to Jack Scaccia, the proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Anthony, another great show, as per usual. Thank you to my family, Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan.
And my girlfriend, Jane Bread.
We'll see you guys next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.